Hello students, welcome to all of you Shiksha 360 and our today's topic is remittance products. Clear remittance products, and this topic we will discuss in three parts. As this is very important topic. First of all, in this topic we have to discuss regarding the NEFT and after that we have to discuss regarding the RTGS. In this we have also discussed Indo Nepal remittance facility. Clear. In this also we have to discuss regarding the Indo Nepal remittance facility, and we have to discuss other remittances products. Clear. RTGS we have to discuss in detail, and after that we have to discuss ECS also. And next one is NAC, NACH. Clear. So we have to discuss regarding all these terms. After that we have to discuss Aadhaar enabled payment system, EPS, Bharat bill payment system. Clear. So this we have to cover, and this we will try to cover in 3 sessions. Clear. 3 to 4 sessions we will try to cover all these things. Clear. So now let's start our today's session. First of all, we have to give a little bit introduction. So basically what we have to discuss it. Clear. As we all know that remittances basically means transferring of funds. Basically it is an important part of retail banking on daily basis. Clear. Earlier there is more movement of cash. Earlier there is more movement of cash, but now this facility is through electrical or electronic transfer. Electronic transfer of funds. Clear. And earlier what we have used for remittance, earlier remittances products, earlier remittances products are checks, demand drafts, telegraphic transfers. Clear. And with the innovation and technology, the new remittance program NEFT, RTGS. Clear. And now the more latest like Bharat bill, BBPS, Aadhaar enabled payment system. Clear. So with respect to the time to time, all these things have to be developed as per the requirement. Clear. So now move to the next one is what are some remittance products which we have used earlier and also use these days, but not that much extent. Clear. So first one is banker's check. Clear. So banker's check, a check which is payable by a bank itself. Clear. Banker check is basically that check which is payable by a bank itself, as opposed. Clear. A check which is payable by a bank itself as opposed to an ordinary check. Clear. A banker check which is payable by a bank itself as opposed to an ordinary check, payable only out of the funds of a particular customer account. Clear. Payable only out of the funds of a particular customer account. Clear. So banker check is a check which is payable by a bank itself as opposed to an ordinary check. Clear. As opposed to an ordinary check payable only out of the funds of the particular customer account. Clear. Only out of the funds of a particular customer's account. And a bank's check is normally obtained by a bank customer. Clear. A banker's check, or we can say that a bank's check is normally obtained by a bank customer by paying its a face value. Clear. By paying its face value means that value mentioned on the check. Value mentioned on the check or amount mentioned on the check. The point is that the person receiving the check has the security of knowing it's payable by the bank and thus cannot bounce. Clear. Actually, bank's check cannot bounce because bank has already taken money. Clear. Bank has already taken money from the customer itself. Clear. Because bank has already taken money from the customer itself. Clear. So that's why this check also cannot bounce. And banker's check or banker's draft. Banker's check or banker's draft is a check where the funds are withdrawn directly from a bank's funds, not from an individual account. Clear? Now we have to draw the funds from the bank's account. Clear? Or from the bank's funds and not from an individual account. So bankers check are also comes under the negotiable instruments. Clear? Bankers check are also comes under the negotiable instrument act, and these are also negotiable instruments payable to order and attract all provisions. Clear? Bankers check are negotiable instruments payable to order and attract all provisions applicable to an order check. Clear? And attract all provisions applicable to an order check and are valid. Clear? And are valid for 6 months. Clear? Basically, bankers check has validity for 6 months from the date of issue, and in genuine cases it may be revalidated. Clear? It may be revalidated. Basically, its date can be extended again. Clear? Its date can be extended again, or it can be say that it can be reevaluated. So this is basically bankers. Next we have to discuss is demand draft. Clear? Next which we have to discuss here is demand draft. So what is demand draft? Demand draft or DD, it is a method used by an individual or a bank. Clear? Demand draft, it is a method used by an individual or a bank to transfer money. Clear? For what? Basically used by an individual or a bank to transfer money from one bank account to another. Clear? Basically it is a method used by an individual or a bank to transfer money from one bank account to the another. Demand draft differs a lot from checks as they do not require the signature of the account holder to be cashed. Clear? Basically it is different from the check totally. Clear? Demand draft differs a lot from checks as they do not require the signature of the account holder to be cashed. Clear? As on the check there is a requirement of the signature, or signature must, but in the case of demand draft there is not such a requirement. Also, demand drafts are only issued by banks and you cannot issue them on an individual basis. Clear? This is also demand drafts are issued only by the banks and not issued by on the individual basis. Demand drafts are also much safer and carry less risk of fraud. Clear? Demand drafts, these are also much safer and carry less risk of a fraud as compared to checks. Clear? Basically much safer and carry less risk of fraud as compared to checks, because the demand draft is only issued by the bank. Clear? When basically when bank will issue the demand draft, if the drawer has a sufficient funds in their account, which is not the case with checks. Clear? The demand draft is only issued by the bank if the drawer has a sufficient funds in their account, which is not the case with the check. Clear? Which is not the case with the check. Clear? Because as in the check it is issued by the individual, so as such there is not compulsory that there are funds or not. Clear? But in the case of demand draft is always honored. Clear? Because bank has already taken money from the customer itself. Next one is electronic payment system. Clear? Now we have to move towards the modern electronic payment systems. Clear? Basically this is depends upon in the electronic payment, it is basically depends upon two systems. First one is CPC and the second one is DPS. Clear? First one is CPC and second one is DPS. CPC stands for centralized payment system. CPC stands for centralized payment system, and DPS basically stands for decentralized payment system. Decentralized payment system. CPC basically stands for centralized payment system. So what it includes in the centralized payment system? It basically includes RTGS. It also includes NEFT. It also includes NECS. So what is NECS? I think many of you are also aware. National Electronic National Electronic Clearing Service, NECS. And NEFT, National Electronic Fund Transfer. National Electronic Fund Transfer. And RTGS, Real Time Gross Settlement. And clear, so all these things, RTGS, NEFT and NECS, all comes under the CPC. And what comes under the DPS, Decentralized Payment System? Clear, so what comes under the DPS? Basically, it includes clearing house, at MICR centers. Clear, it includes clearing house at MICR centers, including CTS. Clear, including CTS, or we can say that check truncation system. And it also includes ECS. ECS basically stands for Electronic Clearing Service. Clear, ECS basically stands for Electronic Clearing Service. ECS basically stands for Electronic Clearing Service. Clear, and all these things are comes into more proper format after the introduction of the PSS Act. Basically, that provides for the regulation and supervision of payment systems in India, and to designate the Reserve Bank as authority for that purpose. Clear, PSS basically stands for Payment and Settlement System Act. Clear, Payment and Settlement Systems Act 2007. Clear, Payment and Settlement Systems Act 2007. Clear, so this comes under the, all these things comes under the electronic payment system. Clear, so basically this is to be divided in two parts: centralized payment system and decentralized payment system. RTGS, NEFT, NECS include micro centers, basically clearing house at micro center, ECS, electronic clearing service. Next, we have to discuss in detail. First of all, we have to discuss NEFT. Clear, what is NEFT? We have to also discuss some of the important terminologies regarding NEFT. And in the next session also, we have to cover the remaining part of the NEFT and try to cover the RTGS. Clear, and try to cover the RTGS in the next session. So let's start. So NEFT, basically National Electronic Fund Transfer, is a nationwide centralized payment system owned and operated by the Reserve Bank of India. Clear, so National Electronic Fund Transfer, it is a nationwide centralized payment system. Clear, it is a nationwide centralized payment system owned and operated by the Reserve Bank of India. Clear, owned and operated by the Reserve Bank of India. So what is the objective? Clear, what is the objective of the Reserve Bank? What is the objective of the NEFT? So the objective of the NEFT system is to establish an electronic funds transfer system. Clear, is to establish an electronic fund transfer system to what? For to facilitate an efficient, secure, economic, reliable, and expedient system of funds. Clear, fund transfer. Clear, to facilitate an efficient, secure, economical, reliable, and expedient system of fund transfer and clearing in the banking sector throughout India. Clear, and clearing in the banking sector throughout India, and to relieve the stress on the existing paper-based fund transfer and clearing system. Clear, and to reduce the or relieve the stress on the existing paper-based fund transfer and clearing system. Clear, paper-based fund transfer and clearing system. So what are the some definition related to the NEFT? First one is NEFT Clearing Center. NEFT Clearing Center, basically it means any office designated by the nodal department. Clear, it means any office designated by the nodal department for receiving. Clear, for what? Basically for receiving, processing, and sending. Clear, NEFT Clearing Center means any office designated by the nodal department for receiving, processing. Clear, for what? Basically for receiving, processing, and sending the NEFT SMFS SFMS message, and the debiting and crediting of accounts. Clear? And the debiting and crediting of accounts of the participating banks. Clear? And the debiting and crediting of accounts of the participating banks and institutions for settlement of payment obligations or one or more of these functions. Clear? For settlement of payment obligations or one or more of these functions. Clear? And we have to discuss also what is the full form of SFMS. So the National Clearing Cell, Reserve Bank of India, Nariman Point, Mumbai, has been designated as a NEFT clearing center for the purpose of the NEFT system. Clear? Sometimes they will ask, which of the following is a NEFT clearing center? NCC. So that is basically the National Clearing Cell, Reserve Bank of India, Nariman Point, Mumbai. Clear? Has been designated as a NEFT clearing center for the purpose of the NEFT system. So what is NEFT SFMS message? Clear? Now we have to understand what is the SFMS message. So means an electronic structured. Clear? SFMS basically stands for Structured Financial Messaging Solution. Clear? SFMS stands for Structured Financial Messaging Solution. Clear? So means an electronic structured financial messaging solution message containing a batch of NEFT payment instructions. Clear? Basically it contains or message containing a batch of NEFT payment instructions for fund transfer, processed and consolidated. Clear? Containing a batch of NEFT payment instructions for fund transfer, processed and consolidated. Clear? For fund transfer, processed and consolidated in the manner specified. Clear? In the manner specified for transmission of payment instructions. Clear? In the manner specified for transmission of payment instructions from NEFT service center to the NEFT clearing center. Clear? Basically from where to where? From the NEFT service center to the NEFT clearing center. Clear? So that is basically NEFT SFMS message. Clear? Means an electronic structured financial messaging solution or basically message containing a batch of NEFT payment instructions for fund transfer, processed and consolidated in the manner specified. Clear? In the manner specified for transmission of payment instructions from NEFT service center to the NEFT clearing center. Clear? From where to where? From the NEFT service center to the NEFT clearing center. Next one is NEFT service center. Clear? As here we have discussed from the NEFT service center to the NEFT clearing center. Clear? Now we have to discuss what is NEFT service center and what is NEFT clearing center. Clear? So basically SFMS basically sends instructions from where? Service center to clearing center. So what is NEFT service center? So it is means an office. Clear? It is basically means an office or branch of a bank. Clear? NEFT service center basically means an office or a branch of a bank in a center designated by that bank. Clear? In a center designated by that bank to be responsible. Clear? To be responsible for what? To be responsible for processing, sending or receiving NEFT SMS message on behalf of that bank. Clear? NEFT SFMS message on behalf of that bank in that center and to do all other functions. Clear? And to do all other functions entrusted to a NEFT service center by or under these guidelines. Clear? And to do all other functions entrusted to do NEFT service center by or under these guidelines. Clear? Basically it means NEFT service center basically means it is an office. It is an office or branch. Clear? It is an office or branch of a bank in a center designated by that bank to be responsible for processing, sending or receiving NEFT SFMS message on behalf of that bank in that center and to do all other functions entrusted to a NEFT service center by or under these guidelines. So NEFT service center is referred to as a sending NEFT service center. Clear? It is both working, either to be sending or it is to be receiving. Clear? When it is to be working as a sending and when it is to be working as a receiving. Now let's discuss. So NEFT service center is referred to as sending NEFT service center when it originates a NEFT SF message for funds transfer. Clear. NEFT service center is a refer to a standing NEFT service center when it originates an NEFT SFMS message for funds transfer. Clear. When it originates, then it is to be treated as sending, and when it is receiving, then it is to be treated as receiving center. Clear. NEFT service center is referred to as a receiving NEFT service center when it receives a NEFT SFMS message. Clear. When it receives a NEFT SFMS message from the NEFT clearing center. Basically from where? Basically from the NEFT clearing center. So it depends upon case to case. Now next one is NEFT system. Okay, now we have to understand what is a NEFT system. So NEFT system means the National Electronic Fund Transfer System. Clear. NEFT system basically means a National Electronic Fund Transfer System established by these guidelines for carrying out. Clear. Basically established by these guidelines for carrying out interbank funds transfer within India and from India to Nepal. Clear. So one question arises: can NEFT be through NEFT we can send funds to the Nepal? Yes, we can send funds to the Nepal through the NEFT procedure also. Clear. So NEFT funds mean a National Electronic Fund Transfer established by these guidelines for carrying out interbank funds transfer within India and from India to Nepal, and providing for settlement of payment obligations. Clear. And providing for settlement of payment obligations arising out of such fund transfer among the participating banks. Clear. Arising out of such funds transfer arising among the participating banks. Clear. Arising out of such fund transfer among the participating banks. Okay, clear to all of you? Next one is, what are the valid reasons for non-payment? Clear. In many cases the payment will not be happen. So now we have to discuss what are the valid reasons for non-payment. Clear. So the valid reasons for non-payment are the reasons due to which the beneficiary bank fails to or cannot make payment to the beneficiary. Clear. Basically valid reasons of non-payment are the reasons due to which the beneficiary bank fails to or cannot make payment to the beneficiary. Clear. Fails to or cannot make payment to the beneficiary. So some of the basic reasons for that are: first one is beneficiary not having an account with the beneficiary bank. Clear. First one is that beneficiary not having an account with the beneficiary bank. Clear. Not having an account with the beneficiary bank. Second one is account number indicating in the payment instruction not matching with the number as recorded at the beneficiary bank. Clear. Basically there means that first one is no account with that bank. Second one is account number is not properly matched. Clear. Account number indicated in the payment instruction not matching with the number as recorded at the beneficiary bank. Clear. Not matching with the number as recorded with the beneficiary bank. Third one is dislocation of work. Clear. Dislocation of work due to circumstances beyond the control of the beneficiary bank, such as earthquake, fire, etc., at the place where the beneficiary account details are maintained, etc. Clear. Basically due to some natural instances or due to some other circumstances. Clear. Dislocation of a work due to circumstances beyond the control of the beneficiary bank. Clear. Beyond the control of the beneficiary bank, such as earthquake, fire, etc., at the place where the beneficiary account details are maintained. Clear. At the place where the beneficiary account details are maintained. Next one is any other valid reason. Clear. Any other valid reason preventing passage of the credit, such as a court order restraining operations on the beneficiary accounts. Clear. The reasons shall be explicitly indicated. Clear. Due to any court order. Clear. That there is a restriction on the account of the customer. Clear. For that reasons also there is not fund transfer. Clear. There is not fund transfer. Now what are the charges? Customer charges levied by bank. Clear. What are the charges taken by the bank for the NEFT transactions? Clear. This question is also important for the examination point of view. Clear. So the RB does not levy or does not take any charges from the member banks for NEFT transaction. Also there are no charges to be levied for inward remittance at destination bank branches for giving credit to bank beneficiary customers. Here basically it means that the person who originates the NEFT, that person have to pay the charges. Clear? That person have to pay the charges. That person have to pay the charges, not the beneficiary. Beneficiary has not need to pay the charges. Clear? So the RBI does not levy any charges from member banks for NEFT transaction. Also, there are no charges to be levied for inward remittances at destination bank branches for giving credit to the beneficiary accounts. So the outward remittances, clear? Basically for outward remittances, the maximum charges that can levy, that can levy from their customers for NEFT transactions are as follows. Clear? What are as follows? Clear? So now we have to do for NEFT transaction, the maximum charges that bank can levy from their customers for NEFT transaction are as follows. So now let's discuss. So what are the maximum charges which can be levied for outward transactions at originating banks for other transactions? First one is for transactions up to 10,000. Not exceeding rupees 2.50 plus applicable GST. Clear? Up to 10,000, 2.50 plus GST, or we can, I think it is to be approximately 3 rupees. And for transactions above rupees 10,000 to 1 lakh, clear? 10,000 to 1 lakh, 5 rupees plus applicable GST. And for 1 lakh to 2 lakh, 15 rupees, not exceeding 15 rupees plus applicable GST. And 2 lakh, not exceeding, clear? For above 2 lakh, there is fixed amount, 25 rupees plus GST. Clear? For transaction above rupees 2 lakh, it is to be 25 rupees plus applicable GST. Clear? It is to be 25 rupees plus GST. Clear? So this is basically the amounts which we have to understand also. Clear? Which we have to understand also. Clear? Because sometimes question will also ask from these points. Clear? Up to 10,000 it is to be 2.5 rupees and above that. Clear? And 10,000 to 1 lakh it is to be rupees 5 lakh. 1 lakh to 2 lakh it is to be not exceeding 15. Clear? It is to be a maximum 15 rupees plus applicable GST. And for above 2 lakh there is same charges, 25 rupees plus applicable GST. Clear? 25 rupees plus applicable GST. Clear? So thanks to all of you for joining this session, and tomorrow we have to discuss some more points regarding all these processes. Clear? What is the proper process flow of the NEFT? Clear? And tomorrow we will also discuss RTGS. Clear? Very, very important session. This for your information purpose and for your examination purpose. So thanks to all of you for joining this session.